Right, questionnaires. Okay, so in the exam you could be given a question on surveys, okay, and they'll give you a few questions from a survey, and they'll ask you what's actually wrong with this question, and each question there might be something wrong with the way it's set up, okay. Now with question 1 here, it says, what is your favourite fruit? Apple, banana, orange or grapes, okay. You can see here then I've actually written in other, right, because if that isn't there, then if your favourite isn't apple, banana, orange or grapes, you haven't got any box to tick. You know, your favourite could be pineapple or kiwi fruit, right? Well, you know, there needs to be a box for you to tick. So it's important, okay, it's important as well as these options here that you have a box called other to include those people. Also, you need a box for no favourite, okay? So maybe somebody hasn't got a favourite fruit, okay? So in that case then you have a box for everyone. So it's obviously quite difficult to have a box for every type of fruit because there are lots and lots of fruits. But the way we've gone here, we list the most popular ones maybe, and then you've got one for other, and of course one for no favourite. So at least then you can tick one of the boxes. Alright. Question 2, what is your address? Okay, now this is a dangerous question to ask. Okay, if somebody asked me this in a survey, I would be reluctant to give that information away, okay, because it's personal information, right? And it's, as it says here, it's confidential information. You don't want to be giving that information away to strangers, okay? Lots of questions they could ask, which is confidential. If you were asked for your bank details, okay, or your postcode, all right, or specific details about maybe where you work, okay, the company name and things like that. This is all confidential information. So really a survey shouldn't be asking for things like that. Number 3, what is your age? Now, this is, as it says, there's a personal question. Okay, people generally don't like to be asked their age, all right? So to be asked outright isn't an ideal question for a survey. Okay, so if you were doing a survey, you shouldn't be asking that. If you needed their age though, okay, because some surveys you actually need the age to make sense of the data. What you could do is have a range of ages, okay? Like we can see in question 4 here, you could have a range of ages so that people can actually tick a box where they belong, but they're not actually giving away the actual age. So if we actually go to number 4 then to see what problems there are with this, there's nothing wrong with the question, okay? How old are you? Okay, and you've got a range of boxes, as I said, that's perfectly fine. But you know, if you look carefully, right, as it says here, response boxes must cover every possibility. If you look at the ages here, okay, hopefully you can see there's something missing, right? Now, you know, we don't necessarily all die when we get to 75, okay? If you're over 75, we need to have a box here, yeah? So really, there should be a box to include all ages, right? So you could maybe have a box like that, over 75. But that's what I would say, response boxes must cover every possibility. Also, if you look closely, okay, you've got to make sure that the boxes don't overlap, right? Because if you look here, 36, you're actually in both boxes, okay? So if you were exactly 36, you'd be wondering what box to tick, okay? And you can't tick both boxes because that would look a little bit strange. So you need to make sure that the boxes, as it says here, must not overlap, okay? Right, question 5. So we've got here, it says, why would you visit the Gower Peninsula again? What makes it worth coming back? Okay, now that's quite a long question, all right? And notice as well that they're asking the same question twice, essentially, okay? Obviously they're referring to the Gower Peninsula, but why would you visit it again? What makes it worth coming back? Asking the same question twice, you shouldn't be doing that in a survey, okay? In a survey, the questions must be short and clear, okay? So if you ever see that in an exam paper, you can just simply say they're asking the same question twice, right? And really, you know, it needs to be short and clear. Okay, number 6, it says, how often do you go to the local supermarket? Well, you can see here, right? Again, if you look here, notice, what about 4? If you click for 4 times, okay, it doesn't include every option. And also, how often do you go to the local supermarket? Well, there's no time frame there in that question. It doesn't say how often do you go to local supermarket per week or per month or per year, right? When you say a question like this, you need to say really how often do you go to the local supermarket in a month. Okay, you need to have a time frame there. Number 7, it says, how much time do you spend on the computer at the weekend? Okay, a lot, average, a bit, not much. Now these answers, right, I use that word there, vague, okay, vague, right, they're not particularly clear, right. A lot to someone really could mean average to someone else, right. There's not much sense in these particular responses here. It's quite difficult to know which one to tick, okay, so we need to be clear. Preferably response boxes include with numbers would be better. So here you could have like number of hours, okay, so you could have like 0 to 1 hour and so on, right? So and build up in terms of how much time you spend on there, right? But a lot, average, a bit, very vague, okay, you'd say that in the exam. Number 8 then, what do you think of the changes made in the restaurant? Okay, so restaurant changes could be made. Look at the response boxes here. Again, these are vague. Excellent, very good. What does that actually mean? Okay, someone thinking very good, okay, someone else might be thinking excellent. They might be thinking the same thing, okay. Excellent to someone could mean good to someone else, all right. They're vague responses. Again, a scale would be better, wouldn't it? Maybe a scale from 0 to 10. Okay, so maybe 10's the best, 0's the worst, and we can sort of measure it that way. So numerical boxes are better. And it's a biased question, okay? It's biased. Biased means that you're leading someone to give you maybe an answer that you were looking for. And in this case, if you notice, they're all excellent, very good, good. There's nothing negative here, isn't it? It's a biased question, right? The responses obviously are going to be positive, okay? You're going to have one of these ticked, which means that quite simply it's going to be a positive outcome. You need to have a good overall outlook on it. So we need to look at average sort of values and negative values as well. So as I said, scale from 0 to 10 would be best. Number 9, it says, do you agree independence would be good for Wales? Okay, do you agree independence would be good for Wales? Notice the words there, do you agree? Okay, it's almost enticing you, isn't it? It's encouraging you to say yes. Okay, that's a bad question. It really is a bad question when it says, do you agree? Okay, it should be saying, do you think? Do you think independence would be good for Wales? Okay, that would be a better question. Okay, because then you can sort of look at it in a balanced way, right? This is really biased, isn't it? It's biased in that it's wanting you to say yes. It's wanting you to go along with it, okay? We call this sort of thing like a leading question, right? It's leading you to say yes, okay? Number 10, have you ever lied to a teacher about your homework? Okay, now these sort of questions put us on the spot, right? And certain questions, you have to be careful in the survey, okay? Now this type of question, you might not always get a truthful answer, if you think about it, okay? So it's a silly question to ask, okay? You should never ask questions where you might not get a truthful answer. Some people will tell the truth, but some people will lie. And it's important here that you don't have questions like this in there, all right?